Hello again everyone and welcome back. This is Craig Peters here from Soundiron, and in today's video we're going to be checking out something special. We're going to be checking out Hopkin Instrumentarium Chordophones. Chordophones is a compendium that includes all of our unique Hopkin string instruments that we've released so far, plus a brand new instrument exclusive to this product with the stroked Zither. So within this compendium you'll find Aquaalt, Handsome Dan, Icicles and Popice, Squiggly Amejewar, weighted strings, 2+2+1, and the newly added stroked Zither. Chordophones comes with a wide range of unique and inspiring musical colors that you'll never hear anywhere else. So let's go ahead and dive in and start checking out all the sounds and features as much as we can in this library. So Hopkin Instrumentarium Chordophones is built for the free Contact 8 player and is compatible with all NKS standard hardware. So we're going to try and cover as much as we can in this library. If you want to see more on the individual libraries that are included in this compendium, make sure to check out the YouTube playlist so you can really get in depth with some more sounds and the ambient content and effects presets and stuff like that. So I thought since we added a new instrument to this compendium, I thought we'll explore that a little bit first, and then we'll dive into some other aspects of the library. So right here, I have the stroked Zither loaded up, and it's using mic A. So you have mic A, mic B, and then you also have some ambiences and some subsynth sustains and staccatos. So right now I have the long sustains loaded up, so let's have a listen to this. I really love the sound of this one. Super low, grindy type of string sound. And then you can also extend the range, so let's check that out. Go a little bit lower. So those are the longs. If you click this right here, you'll see that you have longs, shorts, sustain, and effects. So let's check out the shorts. Now let's check out the sustains. Just a gnarly, grindy string sound. It sounds really cool. I really love the sound of this instrument. So we also have some ambiences that we created out of the source content as well. So I want to play for you some of the ambiences in this library. Let's go ahead and check this out. And you can see when you click this drop down, you have 20 to choose from. Let's try this one. It's much more peaceful type of sound than the other sounds that you heard. So it's really cool having these ambiences because you can really craft some completely different tracks from either horror or very like ambient, kind of peaceful sounding like what you hear here. Let's have a listen to a few more. So Hopkin Instrumentarium Chordophones comes with a ton of custom effects presets, over 150 of various different custom effects presets and ambient content. So I want to play for you some of the custom effects presets that we created for the stroke zither. So let's have a listen to some of these. And then whenever you see MW in the names of any of these effects presets, definitely play around with the mod wheel, because sometimes with these different ambient presets and the custom effects presets, we'll have various parameters attached to the mod wheel. So you can get some very cool and unexpected surprises. So let's check out this one. All right, so now I want to play for you a little bit of mic B for the stroke zither, so let's have a listen to this. So it's just a little bit of a different sound. Go a little bit lower. And the cool thing about these different layers is you can mix and match and combine some of these different mics. So if you want to have mic A in layer 1, then let's turn on layer 2. We're going to turn that on. Let's keep that a sustain. We'll go back over here to layer 1. Let's make this a sustain as well. And then if you want, you can even go into layer 3, turn this on, have an ambience. So let's check this out. So this is all of them combined. So you can see it gets pretty intense. Then you can even switch out some of the different ambiences. And then something I like to do is use the X fade and you could play around with how things interact. So if you want to blend in from one mic into another mic, or combine different sound design ambiences, or blend the ambiences in a little bit more with the other types of articulations that we recorded, or vice versa. So you really have a lot of options as far as how you can blend and play around with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the ambiences to layer A, and then I'm going to set layers 1 and 2 to layer B, so that way I can fade in to those grindy sustains. And then I'm going to learn this to my mod wheel. Now let's check this out. Then we can even play around with some of the different ambiences. And then something else that I like to do to just add a little bit more of that kind of subby motion to the track, or if you're using this in some kind of more like tension type score or something like that. So let's turn on layer 4, and I want to go to the subsynth staccatos, and then I'm just going to play around with some of these, see what I like. And then I want to head up here to the options. Here you have some LFO filtering, some arpeggiation. This is per layer, so you can have each layer doing all kinds of different crazy stuff. So it's really cool. And then I also want to mention this space tab right here, which allows you to pan the different layers any way you want on the soundstage. So if you've seen our other libraries that have this, or within like our Hyperion series where you have the stage, this is very similar to that, but it's with the 4 different layers. So you can pan stuff around all crazy. You can pan different ambiences, stuff like that. So that's really cool. So what I want to do with this layer is turn on this arpeggiator. Let's see what type of rhythm we get. So that's pretty cool. I think what I want to do is pitch this down a little bit. Let's pitch it down an octave. So you can hear you're getting a little bit of that motion, a little bit of that intensity. So what we can also do too is set this to layer B. So now we're going to be starting off with our ambience. Let me play that note right. And then if you want, you can also turn down these other layers too. So if maybe, let's say we don't want to have as much of that grindy sustain, we can play around with that. Or if you want to hear how that sounds with just the pulse and that ambience, we could do that. So one of the things that you can do, if you have this layer set to none, it's always going to play. So let's try that again. So it's really cool and how you can use all of these different features to really craft a lot of different types of music and different tracks for whatever you're working on. So I'm not going to be able to cover all of the sounds in this library because this would be just too long of a video, but I am going to cover some of my favorite sounds from the other instruments that we've released separately that are going to be in this compendium. So right now I have the 2+2+1 loaded up, so let's check that out. And then if you want to see the full walkthroughs of these libraries, make sure to click up here to watch those as they pop up if you get a little curious. So let's check out some of these now. And then always remember you have this extend range button right here. So right now I'm only playing within the range, but if I want to go a little bit lower, you can always do that. So make sure to use that in case you need a little bit more of a range for whatever you're writing. All right, so now let's go ahead and check out the Alt. This is using the hammer down articulation with the close mics. Then if you quickly want to hear some of the other sounds here, there's some fast strums. Almost has a little bit of a medieval sound to it. All right, so now let's go ahead and check out the Aquaalt. This one is another one that I really like because it still has that little bit of that kind of medieval sound to it, but it is completely different than any other type of zither you might have seen. These are the plucked articulations. Now let's have a listen to a little bit of the Handsome Dan. So this library has a lot of really cool articulations. If you click this drop down, you'll see all of the available ones. Here's some that I find are really cool, especially if you're doing any kind of like country western type stuff. So this one's got some different slides. These octave up slow slides. Let's check out a couple other ones. All right, so let's go ahead and check out a little bit of the Icicles and Popice. These are the Icicles Pluck with mic A. Very icy type of chimey sound. And then we have the Popice Plucks. Let's check those out. A little bit more of a muted pluck. All right, so now let's check out a little bit of the Squiggly Amejewar, and this one's cool. It almost has a little bit of like a sitar type of sound to it, so let's check this out. All right, so now let's check out weighted strings. This one includes a lyre and a zither. So you got a couple of different instruments to choose from with some various articulations. So let's check out the first one, which is the weighted strings lyre. These are the plucked articulations. This one's also got some other cool articulations like some glisses and some harmonics, so let's have a listen to the harmonics. And then if you quickly want to hear the glisses, hear the gliss up. And then you have some gliss down. So then you can take this, learn it across the key range, play it really low if you're trying to channel some of that darkness and horror type of sounds. And then last for weighted strings, we have the Zither. So let's check this one out. This is using mic A and the plucked articulations. And I really love about these instruments is that they all have these really unique sounds to them, especially if you're looking for something that has a little bit that kind of like chimey bell sound, but something that just has some more character to it, you know, because you could use something, you know, like another instrument that's a standard type of instrument. But a lot of these instruments are built sort of off of inspired by other instruments, but just, you know, filtered through Bart Hopkins' unique brain. I don't know how he comes up with this stuff or the way he thinks about it, but it's just really cool to have these collections of unique instruments that you can't really find anywhere else. So let's play a little bit more. And then we have some other ones. So we have some harmonics as well. And then if you want, you can learn one of these to the key range. So select a note, then you have so pretty cool in being able to do that. And then if you want to use another note, let's say you like the sound of that, pick that as your note. So super easy to be able to just take any of these notes or sounds and just spread them across the key range. And then before we wrap things up, let's check out the glisses. Very cool sound. So I love to take these, map them across the key range, head over here to the effects rack. Let's just load up some effects. So let's load up a delay. We'll turn this on, set it to sync, give it a little ping pong. Very cool. Then let's go ahead and load up a convolution reverb. We'll turn this on, leave this as is, turn up the mix a little bit, and see how this sounds. It's just like instant horror vibes, so cool. So, instant way to sort of add a little bit of fear and tension to your tracks using some sounds and effects like this. All right, so that about wraps up this walkthrough for Hopkin Instrumentarium Chordophones. If you want to learn more about this library or any of the other Hopkin instruments that we have on our site, make sure to head over to soundiron.com. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't, please subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. Take it easy.